Hi everyone. On this episode of Cooking with Hot Diarrhea, I'm going to take our favorite Chinese, which is orange chicken and fried rice from Panda Express, and I'm going to make it trail ready. So come along and see how I do it. So what I have here is I've already microwaved the leftover orange chicken that we have, and granted there's not much, but that's kind of okay. And I've also microwaved the leftover fried rice that we have. Now, one thing that I've run into with dehydrating foods, especially rices and that kind of thing, is yes, many of you are saying, like, I could just go in and dehydrate this as it is. And you're absolutely right. I could go and take this and dump it on one of the trays in our dehydrator, and it'll be good to go. But with the chicken, it's large chunks. And the problem with the large chunks is they might not dehydrate quite as well as they will be if I make them smaller chunks. And as far as the rice goes, yes, it's very true. The rice will dehydrate perfectly like it is. But I have something extra special planned for all of this. So stay tuned. So now I put the orange chicken down in my Ninja food processor. You can use any food processor, obviously. But I've got the Ninja in there with the orange chicken, and I've got the rice in there too. Now just a few pulses to see how well I can get this kind of ground up and unified. And that looks actually pretty good. You can't even tell that there's chicken in there, which, granted, might not be necessarily the best thing in the world because you want to have the bigger chunks of chicken, but this is going to dehydrate much better with the chicken pieces a little bit smaller and that flavor unified and kind of integrated more into the rice itself. So now we have regular rice, but it also tastes a little bit more like the orange chicken. So now I've dumped in the rice and chicken mixture, and you can see some of the pieces of the chicken. I want it to be smaller pieces of the fried rice, but you can see bits and pieces here and there of the orange chicken, and that's fantastic. That's pretty much exactly what I want. So now what I'm going to add is a little bit of soy sauce, because we do like soy sauce. And again, right now I'm just using packets that I got from our local Panda. But I also want to add some other ingredients because I'm not satisfied just with putting in whatever happens to be normal. So I'm going to add a little bit of seasoned rice vinegar. And to give it a little bit of a Thai flavor, I'm also going to add some fish sauce. And then lastly, what I'm going to do is add some orange juice. And I realized that, well, it's kind of cheating a little bit because it's not fully just the orange sauce from Panda. And you know what I could have done? I could have just added orange sauce from Panda. That would have been completely fine. But I didn't do that. Just kind of give it a good quick mix. Make sure that all my sauces and juices and such are integrated in so that everything has exactly what it needs. So now this looks really good. And it smells so good with the soy sauce and the orange juice and the fish sauce thrown in. Fantastic. Fantastic. But now I still have a couple more things to do. And those include adding eggs. Now, Hellion Goddess does not like eggs. And that's completely fine, but I need to add eggs to this because of the way that I'm going to try to do this. Basically, what I'm going to do is sort of create a casserole. So, there's one. Get the whites in there nicely. Two. A little bit of shell in there, but you know what? We're going to need calcium on the trail. Good to go. Now I'm going to stir this up and integrate that in there the best that I possibly can. Okay, and now kind of my last step before adding things to the casserole dish is adding kind of what I like to jokingly refer to as my secret ingredient. And really it's not even my secret ingredient. It's not even a secret necessarily either. It's basically something that I kind of picked up from Hellion Goddess's mom. Yeah, no, it's kind of cheating for those of you who feel like it is cheating. But basically, this is a way to bind everything together. All the egg, all the fried rice, all the chicken, all the other juices and sauces and such that I added in. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up or not. You can hear just the way that this is really mixing up really well together. Picking up every bit of the Jiffy mix, all the egg, everything else. It's perfect. It's perfect. Now, if I wanted to, I could probably throw this in a frying pan and fry it. But what I find out works really well is actually to take this and put it in some kind of a casserole dish. So I've already sprayed this casserole dish with some cooking spray, and now all I'm going to do is just take my mixing spoon, and I'm going to spread this mixture as best I can. What I've run into is that in my experiments with trying to dehydrate, I have found that making casseroles, especially casseroles like this, helps me get the ingredients that I want to. I can do really anything that I want to with a casserole. I can put anything in a casserole, and you see how this is from the angle right there. But I can put anything into a casserole that I want to, and it's going to end up being really pretty good. It's going to be very well cooked all the way through. I can make it as a juicy a casserole as I want to, or I can make it as dry a casserole. It really doesn't matter, because what's going to happen is the oven is going to work its magic by baking all of this, helping the ingredients merge together even better. What usually happens is I'm not able to go on and dehydrate a dish immediately after cooking it, and so what I have to do is let it cool. And as many people know, usually things are better the next day. A lot of these end up being better the next day. So let me show you what this looks like from above. Everything's relatively even. Not perfect, but it's relatively even. So yeah, there's still some little chunks in here every now and then. Mainly carrots, it looks like, and maybe a few places where there might be some green bean. But it's pretty densely packed in here, and so that is going to go into the oven. I've got it set for 350 degrees. It'll go in there for probably about 30 minutes, and then I should be ready to do some dehydrating. So taking it out of the oven after baking it at 350 degrees for 30 minutes, and it looks really good, golden brown and delicious. And the only thing I have to do now is let it cool completely. Then I'll put a lid on it, put it in the refrigerator, and then tomorrow when I'm ready to dehydrate, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Alright, so it's the next morning, and I've cut this casserole, this fried rice casserole, into 4 pieces. These 4 pieces, basically, in my mind anyway, they represent 4 servings. Now, normally, this might end up actually being 8 servings, but on the trail, we're going to need a lot more calories. So I'm looking at this as being actually just 4 servings for us. So I have these on the tray now, and as you can see, there's kind of a line right in here where I've kind of visually separated the different servings. That way I kind of know that one half is going to be for one serving, the other half is another serving. And I think I've got pretty much a good amount of space in between, so that this part right here is just extra crumbs, this section right here. But basically I've got plenty of room in between where the air can circulate and get through. I do find that on these kind of trays, because the spaces between the slits are so big, that using parchment paper definitely helps keep, especially something crummy, something that's more prone to crumbs like rice, from falling down in between everything as it dries. So this is going to basically be my setup for the fried rice casserole right now, or the Panda casserole.